5 reasons why the Japanese are so polite. Japan has a population of 126 million, much of which are found in the larger cities of Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, and Kobe. With a high density of people crowded into a relatively small space, people have to learn to get along with one another. At the same time, Japan is made up of local Japanese, with very few foreigners among them, so they are also very similar in culture, values, and manners. They have been described as being one nation, one civilization, one language, one culture, and one race, and are actually one of very few countries in today's globalized world to be so homogeneous. Politeness is a typical characteristic of the Japanese that other people admire, and here are 5 possible reasons why. Number 1. Japanese philosophy and religion. For the Japanese, the country and family are considered more important than self. This idea stems from the teachings of Confucius, the Chinese sage who laid down strict codes of conduct, as well as Shinto religious beliefs. For centuries, Japanese have been taught from a young age that they need to be responsible members of their families and their countries and serve others' needs before their own. As a result, the people became obedient and relatively passive, used to having their lives regulated by rules. Number 2. Group culture and rules. Japanese culture is known to be highly complicated with very fine differences between what is seen to be right and wrong, and it continues to have a strong influence on anyone who wants to live and work in Japan. Unlike in Western societies, the group is seen as more important than the individual. If you step out of line on any aspect, it has a strong impact on the way other people see you. Your basic character and values are at stake if they judge you negatively. This is reflected very clearly in the Japanese language itself, which has both a formal and a casual form, and which makes learning Japanese very difficult for outsiders. The good thing about these guidelines and expectations is that it helps maintain social harmony and makes living together go much more smoothly. It is like the oil that makes the tricky parts of a machine move in tandem with all the other parts, instead of causing irritation and friction when rubbing against each other. Number 3. Children's upbringing and schooling. Japanese parents place a whole lot of importance on teaching social manners so that the child avoids causing trouble for them and for others. Many stress the value of learning the social rules so that their behavior is not criticized by other people. At the same time, parents value closeness with their children and spend time together on various activities. This parent-child closeness positively helps children want to please their parents, and naturally they accept the rules and regulations that their parents set for them. In school, too, children learn proper ways of behaving together. For example, they are taught to clean up their classrooms and school grounds every day and exhibit extremely polite manners towards teachers and other adults. They enjoy learning to work together in groups on projects and in other forms of learning. Many schools also require their students to wear uniforms, which makes them even more aware of their oneness. Number 4. Extremely close encounters. Rules guide the way the Japanese live and interact with others, and everyone is generally very polite to each other, no matter if you are friends or strangers. They try to avoid all kinds of conflict, especially in the public eye. This is partly because there is so little personal space available in the overcrowded cities, and people know they need to cooperate and respect others to make life flow more smoothly for themselves. For example, if you talk loudly into your mobile phone while riding a packed train to work, you are very likely to annoy other commuters. If you smell bad or dress sloppily, you will have that same effect as well. Number 5. Individual status and the formal pecking order. The way a Japanese uses everyday language clearly shows who they are and who they speak to. There are formal rules for speaking differently to different people depending on their age and relationship to you. Even a simple greeting like, "Good morning," can be formal or informal depending on who you say it to and when. For example, the older members of a family, like a grandmother or father, must be addressed in the formal form to show their importance in the group. This goes for the boss of your company or colleagues holding a higher title than you, unless you don't mind being instantly fired. Even bowing to another person to say thank you, already considered to be very respectful in other cultures, has different rules for levels, depending on who is doing the bowing or is being bowed to.